everyone, this is Lock and welcome back to another video on the Great Builds YouTube channel, and here's another video coming for you on this day where I've got 3 videos set up to all come out today. So let's get right into the discussion with this video. This is going to be a general city update and also focus on the amusement park, which I've now completed. And I'm a pretty big fan of how this turned out. I did do some changes that I'll talk about in a minute, but the first thing I want to mention is that I did choose on a color scheme to use for the entire theme park. And it's loosely based off of the LEGO Friends set, where there's a little bit of yellow, purple, and medium azure. All these are colors that I typically don't use that often, especially the medium azure and the purple. So it took me a while to get all these pieces and to put all this together, but I'm pretty happy with it. So let's get started by taking a look at some of the rides individually. First off, we have the Ferris wheel here, and you can actually see that I've changed it up a little bit. I removed the transparent pink pieces that are holding everything together and removed them and placed them in with clear instead. And I've also changed the colors of the cars so that instead of just yellow and purple, we have yellow, purple, and medium azure now as well. Otherwise, the build remained the same, and I did add some small detailing to it on its little pedestal up here. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Also, in the food court area, I basically didn't do too much, but I did add a wall around the back, and it just uses the colors that we've already been seeing, which is black and white, and medium azure, and purple. So, just some other fun colors to include there. I also changed out the colors of the donut shop to be pure white, because, well, the dark azure pieces can be used elsewhere in other projects, and I think the white matches better with the amusement park feel. Now, moving over to this side, I have this little building that I've now constructed. And it's a small little building where if we move around to the other side here, we have a bunch of different games. So we have the arcade machines I had last time that are basically just block tech kits that you can buy at Five Below. They're like $1 each and they're very fun. I have 2 of them in here. I also have a modified version of the arcade from the LEGO Friends Diner set, which is something I wanted to put in there because it's another chicken reference with a game where your goal is to get the eggs into the basket. A very fun little game. And I also decided to turn the central part of this into a pretty interesting looking claw machine filled with lots of different toys like rideable toy horses and little snowmen toys, walkie-talkie toys, and all sorts of good stuff for kids to try and play their games at. And I assure you, unlike in the real world, these are not rigged. So, moving on, there's only a few other things that made a change in this whole display. I wanted to showcase the wall on the outside. It goes pretty much all the way around, aside from at the carousel where there's a secondary entrance to the park. And, of course, the last thing that I really focused on doing was this roller coaster here. Now, it doesn't actually run like the previous roller coaster in my LEGO City did because, well, that's not going to be very good for stop animation. And if you've been on the channel for a while, you know that my plan is to eventually use this city for a large-scale stop animation video. So, in order for that to work, I decided to just go for creating a interesting design for a roller coaster. So what I did was I made 2 cars for the roller coaster, and they're all based on characters that have Minifigure Thursdays episodes out now, so that you guys may know these characters already. The first is obviously one based off my character design and has a dragon head at the front. Since this is an Ninjago City area in the world of Ninjago, I would prefer to have a dragon-themed roller coaster, so I'm pretty happy with that overall. Additionally, the back car is in the colors of Sonakira, the Void Elemental Master. And I wanted to just change the colors up for that a little bit because I didn't have enough to make the whole train in the colors that I preferred, but I'm also a pretty big fan of having 2 different types of carts. And, of course, this can move around the entire area, so I'm pretty happy with how it works. Otherwise, I did some minor adjustments with some color detailing for some of the smaller things like the arcade games to match the color scheme a bit better. As you can see, I've tried removing as much of the hot pink color because I need that for a different project related to another upcoming character I'm in the process of making. So for now, I just wanted to focus on getting all of these parts into the colors that work best for this. Overall, that's all I've got for this, but I'm going to quickly transition to another clip where I can show you another exciting thing we're doing in the LEGO City today. So for this part of the video, we're going to be running one of the trains in the LEGO City. I've brought back the high-speed passenger train that I've made, like the bullet train design, and I wanted to test it in this city layout to see if it works, considering the nose is really long on this. And I tested it out earlier, and we're going to have it running for a little bit, because I have something to discuss in regards to trains. Now, what I did with this train this time around was I found some new batteries to try. Previously, I've been using different store brand batteries that didn't really run for very long and made the trains not go very fast. but I found some Kodak batteries on sale. Kodak, like the brand that sells cameras, and I'm actually pretty impressed with the output of the power of these batteries, especially for being on sale. So they actually have a lot more battery life in them, and can pull a lot more stuff. So like my freight train was struggling earlier, but now it can run just fine with these new batteries. So I'm a pretty big fan, and if you're looking for a battery to use with your powered up or power functions Lego sets, I would actually recommend Kodak. It's been a pretty good time since I started utilizing them. But that's not all we have for this section of the video. We've also got over here a new car that you saw at the beginning of the video, and that is actually a custom design again that I've decided to build, utilizing some new windshield pieces I got from a brand called Brickcraft, where you can find them at Hobby Lobby. And I managed to pick up a pair of little Jolly Rancher partner cars, and I'm a pretty big fan of that. So I like these windshield pieces, and now there's more room in the car for me and my chicken to enjoy a ride in our nice colored car here. But additionally, we have this over here, which is a container and a modified truck. Now these surprisingly actually go to the same project, and the container is designed out of custom pieces that are just regular pieces essentially for a custom design that allow it to be a crate that can't be opened, but it's easier in the smaller dimensions than building a crate out of actual crate panels. So when you put this back on the back of the truck here, it actually just fits perfectly like that, and I'm a pretty big fan of how this looks. And of course, this will help out with the harbor project that we'll be getting to another time. Now, if you've noticed, I've posted 2 videos today on the Great Builds YouTube channel, and that's because today's actually a pretty special day, and I had a bunch of projects that were all lining up to happen on the same day. So, I hope you all stick around for the next one, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll see you around, and I hope you all have a great day.